Hello, it's Maggie, the Cheshire Crafter here. I've been out today to an area of Chester that's very close to the Welsh border, and there are two charity shops there that I popped into to see what fabric I could find. I'm looking for cottons and linens to top up my fabric stash here, and I found 8 items. I'm going to share with you here what they are and just talk you through how I'm going to retrieve the fabric. You really enjoyed my last video on how to take them apart, so I'm just going to talk you through rather than showing you this week with these, because this is going to take me quite some time. And I also appreciate getting your comments, so thanks for your likes, your shares, your subscribes and your comments. Let's see what I bought today. I was looking for cotton and linen that will be suitable for my fabric stash for me to use in quilting. And I'll guide you through all of these. This struck me when I first saw it. I walked in the shop and spotted this. Isn't this jolly? And it will go with a very vibrant red. This dress is cotton. There should have been a belt with it. And if you saw my last video, you can see how much fabric there is when you get a belt. When I take this apart, it's actually unlined, but I can feel that there's an interfacing right down to here. So there'll be a fair amount of fabric in there on the front and the back. It's a flare-out skirt, so it's like a skater style. So there's a lot of flare-out fabric there. You can see the design when I do that. And you can see that I've stuck my hand as a very deep, in fact, there's 2 very deep pockets in this. It fastens with a zip on the back, so the zip is very long. Oh, very long to recover. There are a few darts to unpick here. The beauty of this is the pattern and the amount of fabric that there is in the skirt. And the skirt has been split in the middle at the back, so that's 2 pieces. I'm hoping that the front is all one piece. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Now that means that because of the design, in order to get the flare, they've cut that skirt on the bias, and I'll have to take that into account for quilting. This was one of the dresses I bought from Bernardo's. It was £4.50 and the make is by Isabel of London. So this one is really a vibrant cherry red, and it goes with the cherries on the last dress. This is cotton, and as you can see, there's a high-waisted, it's not an empire line, all of this is a waistline, a midriff really. So there are darts to unpick, there's darts underneath, there are 3 panels across the front going down into one piece that's a skirt, but it's got darts. Oh no, it's not darts. That isn't one piece. You can see where the pattern matches here. So this is 3 pieces. If I look on the back, there might be 3 pieces on the back too. So I'm going to need to look at pattern matching because I haven't done that very well here. And if I show you the inside, you can see that although it's not lined, the fabric is doubled on the bust to this length. So there's a lot of fabric just on that interfacing, and it's the same print as this. Now I'm going to show you that there's a long side zip too. The back we've got a repeat. We've got a bust, then a midriff, and then 3 panels again. So quite a lot of panels in this. I paid £3 for it, and I think the reason for that is it is actually quite soiled. I won't show you the inside under the armpits and round the neck, but it's obviously got marks from somebody's makeup on it. And I think that the charity haven't taken it through the wash. I'm going to wash this, and I think I'm going to wash it on its own, even possibly with some of those colour catchers. And then that'll come up really pristine because it's just cotton. So the fact that somebody has given it and donated it in that condition to a charity shop, shame on them. I would never do that, would you? There's going to be quite a lot of small pieces in that, but if you see the design has got these palm trees in them, that makes what otherwise would be quite a plain piece of fabric really interesting. It's going to be difficult to place that, but I'd like to do a red and white quilt, and this is perfect for it. This dress is an unlined white linen, and as I was talking you through last week, the simpler the style of the dress, the easier it is to take apart. So it's in 4 pieces. There's a seam right the way down the front, 2 patch pockets that will come across. I'm just going to cut simply up those seams. There is a dart there that feels like it will open out, a V-neck. There's a really interesting feature across the back here. This dress was for next too. Quite like that on the back. Doesn't give me really much more fabric to make use of, but a simple design on the back and a hem that's turned over. So that one's going to be probably one of the first ones that I take apart for ease. £5 at the Roy Castle Lung Cancer Foundation in Saltney, Chester. When I'm looking for fabric to recycle, green is the hardest colour to find, and this lime green on white linen skirt is ideal. It has got a lining, but it's just that really cheap acetate that I won't use. And I talked you through last week how I was going to take apart a 14 panel skirt with a waistband. Now I will tell you that this one is in panels, so it flares out. There isn't a waistband, although there is a band on the inside. This is going to be easier than the one last week. That design, that print, means I can mix and match that with a lot of other fabrics. This colour and design would have been ideal when I was doing my Irish chain quilt. There is a zip on the side, and when I look at the stitching on the inside, that depends on whether I'll rip it or unpick it. I can see those stitches, so I'm going to be unpicking those stitches tonight. The unpicking of the stitches means that I'll acquire all that hem line and undo the overlocking, which means that I get the extra ½ inch that I'll need for the seams. And these panels at the bottom open out to about 10 inches, and there's 8 of those, about 5 inches across, I think, at the top. That is lovely. I paid, let's see what I paid for this one, £6, and I'm happy to. In the men's shirt section, I found this. It looks like a grandad shirt, doesn't it? I thought it was all linen, but it's a cotton and linen blend. But it's an XL by Cotton Traders. I didn't pay much for this. Look, £2.50. Size XL. As you can see, small collar, small placket for the buttons, but that whole shirt front is one piece, going right up to the shoulders. I talked about the width. So the bigger the shirt, the wider the sleeve is. And on this I've got long sleeves and down to a cuff. And let me take a look at the back. On the back we have a yoke and a fold over, and it's just been, the seams have just been sewn down, so I'll take a seam ripper to that and unpick those stitches. And then just a couple of snips up the side, and that will reveal a lot of, it looks like, I'm going to treat that as beige linen. For £2.50, I've done well there, don't you think? I've found that seasonally, spring and summer are the time that you'll find green coloured clothing in the shops. And this green floral, it's like a deep olive green. It's for Moss Bros. Unfortunately, it's extra slim fit but got long sleeves. Now, I spoke last week about how they get the shaping in the shirts. It's either they bring the shaping in at the sides or they put darts in it. I'm pleased to say that there's no pocket in the front. Moss Bros of London, extra slim fit. And on the back, yeah, they've done exactly what I said last week. They've put 2 darts in to bring the shaping in. Now, when you're buying these shirts, you need to make sure that the dart is folded over a piece of fabric and that they haven't cut the fabric at this point, because how to ruin one larger piece of fabric by putting 2 cuts in it really makes a difference. Let me show you the dart turned over. There's the dart turned. Can you see the dart turned over here? So when I open that out, it's one flat piece of fabric. It's worth checking that out while you're buying the clothes, while you're deciding, oh, it's an extra slim fit, what do I think? And actually, that's still, oh, that's about 10 inches across. I paid £5 for this shirt and it was worth it. A few weeks ago, I bought a shirt very like this, but it was in linen. This time, this is cotton. Now, I'm very wary about buying short sleeve shirts, and this one is a slim fit and it's by Primark. But just look at that pattern design. And when I look at the price, it was £2. So that wasn't going to stay on the shelf. I can mix this pattern in with so many projects. I've got so much blue fabric, I wasn't really looking to buy more, but I couldn't resist this one. Again, on the back, a yoke at the top, and then nothing to spoil or mar that one back piece. That's a great shirt for £2, isn't it? That's the sort of prices that they're paying in America. That's the sort of prices I'd love to be able to pay. Now, you know that I love a shirt with a ditzy pattern because they're classed as low volume. This is in blues, and as before, we've got a contrast at the collar. I'm not sure about the cuffs. We'll take a look in a minute. Isn't that a pretty little design? It's really, really pretty. Oh yeah, they've got that repeating pattern at the cuff as well. There's also ribbon, which is satin ribbon down the front. So I've got 2 pieces of satin ribbon down the front. Lovely. The back actually has been shaped with 2 darts beyond the yoke. But I thought that was worth buying for £5. Now, it's only when I've got home that I've realised my mistake with this, but I'm actually going to ignore it. This is something that I don't normally buy. This is 80% cotton and 20% polyester, so it's polycotton, but I'm going to treat it like cotton. It looks like cotton, it feels like cotton, because nobody's going to look at the label, and it will wash and wear like a cotton. Then, as far as I'm concerned, that is going in a quilt as a cotton. Isn't that lovely? Right, that's my last shirt. So I've got quilting to do this weekend. I've got quilts to finish. Quilts I'm halfway starting, and I'm trying to find the fabric to sew that onto. So quite a lot to do, a lot of unpicking to do. Come back and join me soon when I upload some more crafting, sewing, quilting. I need to straighten that up, don't I? That's annoying me. Right, this is Maggie, the Cheshire Crafter. Come back and see me soon, won't you? Bye.